The phone wasn't supposed to ring. Not that phone. It vibrated once on the kitchen counter while she was upstairs in the shower. A cheap black device I had never seen before. No case, no contacts showing on the screen. Just a message. Room 417 tonight. Same time. I stared at it. 30 years of marriage teaches you the rhythm of another person's life. The way they breathe. The way they lie without speaking. And suddenly everything in my house felt off. The phone buzzed again. A photo preview appeared. A hotel hallway. Plush carpet. Golden lighting. A door number. 417. My thumb hovered over the screen. My heart stayed calm. Too calm. Something inside me had already accepted the truth. Upstairs, the shower turned off. Water pipes groaned through the walls like an old house whispering a secret. I placed the phone exactly where it had been. A minute later, she walked into the kitchen wearing a towel, hair dripping, humming softly like nothing in the world had changed. Her eyes flicked toward the counter, toward the phone, just for a second. Then she smiled at me. That small smile told me everything. Not guilt, not fear, contempt. Later that night, I would learn what she had been doing. But in that moment, I only knew one thing. My marriage had already ended. She just didn't know it yet. Suspicion doesn't arrive like thunder. It seeps in slowly, quietly, like water through cracked stone. For the next few days, I watched her. Not openly, just small observations. She guarded her purse now, always within arm's reach. Her phone habits had changed, too. The regular phone stayed visible, casual, harmless. But the other one, the black one, vanished whenever she left the room. One night, she said she had a late meeting. She wore perfume she hadn't touched in years. The expensive one. I nodded, smiled. Don't wait up, she said lightly, as if she was doing me a favor. Hours later, she returned smelling like hotel soap. Not our soap. Not our house. Hotel soap has a sterile scent. Clean in a way that feels temporary, like borrowed skin. I lay in bed beside her while she slept. My mind replayed everything. Every late night. Every unexplained expense. Every moment she looked at me like I was furniture in my own house. 3 days later, the black phone rang again. She had left it charging in the laundry room. A careless mistake. I opened it. No password. Arrogance can be sloppy. There were messages. Hundreds of them. From Arthur Blake, her boss. A man whose suits cost more than my car. A millionaire who owned half the city's commercial real estate. The messages were casual. Familiar. Intimate. 3 months of hotel reservations. Photos of wine glasses. Balconies. Hotel bed sheets. And then I found the message that made my chest feel hollow. Her words. My husband is a joke. He wouldn't notice if I disappeared. I stared at the screen for a long time. Not angry, just empty. Somewhere inside me, something very old and patient woke up. Revenge requires patience. Emotion ruins precision. So I stayed quiet. At breakfast, I poured her coffee, kissed her cheek, asked about her day. She smiled the same careless smile. Meanwhile, I started collecting information. Phone records first. The hidden phone had been active for exactly 92 days. 92 days of hotel rooms, dinner reservations, secret meetings. Next came the finances. Arthur Blake liked expensive hotels. He also liked charging them to his company account. That detail mattered a lot. Over the next 2 weeks, I documented everything. Receipts, messages, security footage from the hotel garage. A friend of mine worked in corporate auditing. He owed me a favor. Soon I had copies of expense reports. 3 months of falsified corporate spending. Thousands of dollars disguised as client entertainment. Arthur Blake wasn't just sleeping with my wife. He was committing fraud. Meanwhile, she grew bolder. One night, she didn't come home at all. The next morning, she walked into the kitchen and tossed her purse on the table. You look tired, she said. I watched her pour juice. I slept fine, I replied. She smirked. That same quiet contempt. In her mind, I was harmless. Predictable. A man too dull to notice betrayal happening in his own house. But the real moment came 2 weeks later. She was on the phone with someone in the living room. I heard my name. Then laughter. Cold laughter. I told you, she said. He's completely clueless. I stood in the hallway listening. Something inside me went very still. The plan was ready. I didn't confront her first. That would have been emotional, messy. Instead, I scheduled a meeting with Arthur Blake's board of directors. Corporate ethics committees take fraud very seriously, especially when the evidence arrives in a neat, documented file. Expense reports, hotel footage, phone transcripts, 3 months of misuse of company funds. The investigation moved quickly. Executives panic when money is involved. Within a week, Arthur Blake was suspended. Within 2 weeks, he was facing criminal charges: embezzlement, fraud, misuse of corporate assets. The newspapers loved it. The golden businessman exposed. But my wife didn't know yet. She only noticed he had stopped answering her calls. The confusion in her eyes was almost fascinating. Finally, one evening, she confronted me in the kitchen. "Arthur isn't answering," she said. I looked up slowly. "Arthur Blake?" The color drained from her face. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then, I slid an envelope across the table. Inside were printed screenshots of her messages, hotel receipts, photos, evidence. Her hand started shaking. "This isn't what you think," she whispered. I leaned back in my chair. Calm. Composed. "You called me a joke," I said quietly. Her lips trembled. "That was just 3 months." Silence filled the room like thick smoke. Then she collapsed into the chair. Broken, terrified, but I wasn't finished yet. The next part was simple. Divorce papers, asset transfers, legal documentation, everything prepared weeks in advance. She read the documents slowly, her face turning pale. "You moved the accounts?" she asked. "Yes." "You sold the company shares?" "Yes." "You can't do that." I smiled faintly. "I already did. Years earlier, I had quietly structured our finances in ways she never bothered to understand. She trusted me to manage everything. That trust had been convenient. Now the house was mine. The investments were mine. The savings were mine. All perfectly legal, all documented. She had exactly one asset left: her salary, which disappeared when the company terminated her position. The same week Arthur Blake was arrested. Her voice cracked. "What am I supposed to do?" For a moment, I studied her face. This woman I had spent 30 years with. I felt nothing. Just distance. "Call Arthur," I said softly. "He might answer from prison." Months later, I sat on the balcony of my new villa in Switzerland. The mountains were quiet, clean, cold in the way truth often is. That morning, I had posted a photo online. The lake, the house, the view. My phone began ringing. Over and over and over. 71 calls. All from the same number. My daughter-in-law. The same woman who once shouted through the phone, "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes." I never answered. Not once. Some lessons only arrive when pride collapses. And when the phone finally stopped ringing, I placed it on the table and watched the mountains. For the first time in years, the silence felt honest. And the man she once called a joke, he was the only one who walked away with everything.